Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Gabrielle, and today it is time for new makeup releases. Once again, they just keep coming out. There's a lot. I feel like it's a lot to talk about here, and ignore this. This will be here. It's hard to get off, and I'm just noticing that looks like poop, and that's funny because I'm like, it's hard to get off. It's not poop. It's lipstick. It's cider from Black Moon. I was, trying to see if I wanted to wear it, and it's not poop. Let us see what has been going on. Starting with Gucci. What the heck is... See, I don't know if you could hear that. There was a literal cricket. I just heard a literal cricket right now as I was saying, like, what is this? So Gucci came out with a cushion foundation, Cushion de Beauté. And here's the thing, this shade range has Jaclyn Hill foaming at the mouth. Like, okay, first of all, when I first saw this, I was like, wow, look at that component. I love it. I love the baby pink color. I love the lion. For a second I was like, I wish I could buy this, like I wish it was cruelty free, but then I was like, oh, cushion foundations are usually light coverage, but no. Yeah, somebody was saying that there's actually 22 shades of this, but I don't know. This is like the only picture I'm seeing of it. Looking on Trendmood, she's like, I'll update if this changes, that there's 6 shades, but there is no update. So I'm just gonna assume that this is all there is, because even if you have more shades than this, what the hell? Like, I hate when brands showcase like less than 10 shades and then they're like, oh, but we have more though, and it's like, okay, but where are they at? Like, you do realize that people with other skin tones, especially deep skin tones, exist. They're like, yeah, we have your shade, but we're just not gonna fucking showcase it. Like, what? That's so weird. And look, this picture is hysterical. Of all of these swatches, people were saying the piece of toast has more depth than the shade range, which is true, but my thing is, why the fuck is there a piece of toast in this picture? Like, why is there food in this picture at all? Like, toast is greasy. Like, why would you associate grease and oil with a foundation? I don't understand. Gucci. You know what, while I'm here, let's talk about their eyeshadow palette. Again, with the packaging is very Gucci. They fucking love their flowers, and the inside has that baby pink again, actually. But this is odd. I don't really care for this arrangement of colors. Seeing all these colors together just doesn't really do anything for me. And it's $149. Like, this is more than Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona. And I don't know if Gucci has done eyeshadows before, so it's like, I guess you have to start off expensive. It's better to start off expensive than to start off cheap and then just keep going and going and going up. How is this worth $149? Like, that... There's no pictures of swatches or any... Well, there's actually pictures of swatches, but you know that I don't know if this is photoshopped or if it's legit swatches. It probably is Photoshop, and they just look all right. Like, they don't look like anything, period. $149 for what? Okay, for a baby blue and some neutrals. Like, I have dug out of my purse before for an eyeshadow palette, but not at this scale. Like, I've never spent more than $100 on an eyeshadow palette, so I wasn't even willing to buy the gold palette, which is discontinued now, so I can't. But I'm not necessarily like, oh no, woe is me, a trail of tears. Like, it's expensive. It's expensive, and I don't know if I would buy it. Maybe on Poshmark, maybe I'll look it up one day, but this... Charlotte Tilbury released a new eyeshadow palette. This is one of her instant eye palettes. Smoky eyes are forever. Charlotte Tilbury is one of those brands that I wouldn't go so far as to say she's boring, but I just never buy her products. I've only bought one, and it was her powder, and it broke. This color story, while I think it's pretty because I like neutrals and olive greens together, I have it. Like you could just get, well, I don't even know if Melt Gemini is in stock, but I would say get Melt Gemini. But if it's not in stock, then I'll go fuck myself. I think Charlotte Tilbury's blushes look nice. I've heard that her bronzers are fucking like to die for. But something else that also bothers me about her products is that she'll have like her contour wand or something, or I think she has a highlighter like that too, a liquid highlighter where the applicator is like a foamy thing, and I'm like, that looks very cheap to me, and the product gets all over it. I feel like her applicators are often not the luxury experience because she is kind of a more high-end brand. Even with the Hollywood Flawless filter, it's a dofa applicator that you slather on your face. You know. And then you got Miss Auric here with the pump. My pump is dirty, so here I am talking about luxury experience. Like I've heard great things about her products. I just never really take a bite. And I have thought about buying the powder again, but Sugarpill released a Fun Size 2 palette to go with their Fun Size palette. I think this is cute. I almost wanted it, especially because of the cat drinking boba. I think that's cute. I can see why people got this that had the Fun Size palette, because it's really easy to just put them together and to use both of those color stories together. But I guess I'm just not as blown away with this one. Like I have the Fun Size right here and it's nice. I honestly don't use it as much as I should, and I feel like the Fun Size 2 is just a continuation of this palette, and I guess I just kind of feel like I already don't use this palette as much as I should, so why am I gonna get part 2? I wouldn't say that this color story is a repeat of this one, but it certainly goes with it. So if that's your shit, then you know, yeah. I guess I just don't need it. When I first saw this picture, I literally laughed. I started laughing and I was like, no. No, why? Like, okay, Bobbi Brown is collaborating with Monopoly.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
And then this gets better, just you wait. I don't understand, like, Monopoly. Like, why is dude's face on this fucking highlighter? Like, that is hysterical to me. How do you look at Monopoly and first of all enjoy it? Like, Monopoly is one of those games where nobody really likes. And allegedly, the people that created Monopoly did it to show you why capitalism is bad. Which I guess makes sense because everybody's just stressed and hates each other at the end of the game. Like, you throw personal insults at each other with this fucking game. It's a game where when someone says, do you want to play Monopoly? I usually say no. I'm like, no, can we play something else? This is so weird. Like, there's lipsticks. There's a fucking moisturizer. We got Fruity Pebbles body butters and bath crystals, and we got Monopoly moisturizers. See, I wouldn't use this as a situation to say we are in hell, but we are certainly not in life. We are certainly, like, I don't hate the eyeshadow palette. I don't hate it, but I certainly wouldn't buy it. It's just neutrals with a pop of green, like a sea foamy green. There's also a cleansing oil and a powder. I don't know if this is supposed to be a translucent powder. Oh wait, is this exclusive to China? That's fascinating. Like, do they really get down with Monopoly in China? Like, I don't know. This is very, like, how... Oh my god, the packaging is hysterical. Like, why is this Monopoly dude on a fucking cleansing oil? And for it to be Bobbi Brown is weird. Like, I wouldn't expect this from Bobbi Brown. Like, I wouldn't even expect Bobbi Brown to play board games. Here's how it gets better. Here's how it gets better. Because Bobbi Brown is not the only brand to fucking collaborate with Monopoly. Hip Dot released a Monopoly eyeshadow palette literally around the same time as Bobbi Brown, but they're also doing a Ouija board palette and a Play-Doh palette. I can appreciate, I guess, the Monopoly palette layout because, you know, normally people would be like, this is wasted space, this is stupid, but it it goes with a board game. It goes with this game. Like, I wish the NYX Tetris palette was kind of more in that realm where you had like different hues, like, and they were actually inspired by the shapes and the blocks, like an actual blue thing for the, you know. I can appreciate this, but I also think the color selection's a little all over the place as well, because it's like purple, black, green, blue. It's kind of weird and underwhelming. The Ouija board palette I want to like, but there's like a ton of repeat shades, and it's like, this isn't even one of those palettes where I could justify getting it as decor because it's very easy to find Ouija board decor, especially with Spirit Halloween being open. They always have like a section of Ouija board stuff. And then Play-Doh, like, I guess, like, what is happening? Okay. Okay, man, like, it's a rainbow palette and like pastel-y too, like, sure, have fun, whatever. I don't know how HipDot has all these resources to just have only collabs as their brand. Like, that's really fascinating and kind of bizarre at the same time. Jennifer Aniston came out with her own brand called Lola V. I fucking knew she was gonna have a brand eventually. I just fucking knew it. I was like, Jennifer Aniston is gonna have a brand at some time. It's hair stuff. Yeah, I don't know if this is her only product right now. I think so. Where it's a glossing detangler. I guess it makes more sense. Jennifer Aniston releasing hair products makes more sense than her releasing makeup. Cause like, I feel like a lot of people are just obsessed with her hair, or at least her hair was very like iconic, I guess, like in the 90s. I guess I can respect that it's not makeup because I've really never seen her like in a smoky eye. Well, I also don't really watch her stuff. I don't watch Friends. But even in Friends, she wasn't really wearing like makeup like that. So Armani released an eyeshadow palette. It's called the Eyes to Kill Eccentric, what? They released this palette, it's $117. They're saying you could also use it as a blush and highlight. This looks very powdery. Like, I mean, eyeshadow is powdery, but like this looks like it's supposed to be kind of an all shimmer palette. Yeah, I think there's like a couple mattes in there, but this looks like it's mostly shimmers, and they look very like not something I would want. And the way it's laid out, I want to appreciate it, but I also don't want to appreciate it because it's all these like crystals and things, and like it's in a erratic pattern, but I'm like, that doesn't like, with an eyeshadow palette, you know, you have this nice separation that is useful for getting your brush in there and swatching it and stuff, but like this looks a little chaotic and it just doesn't look like it would perform well, like, at all. I feel like if this was a highlighter, just one color, but still had that pattern, it would look really nice. But as an eyeshadow palette, especially because that bottom color, like with the, it looks like supposed to be pearls in there, like how am I supposed to get my brush or my finger in there? Okay. Nikki Tutorials came out with her own brand, Nemia. I do find this odd. I could see Nikki coming out with eyeshadow. I could see her coming out with a foundation that's way too full coverage. I could see her coming out with a concealer that is cement. I feel like I'm just fucking throwing shade at this woman, but those are the kind of products that she likes, and I could see her making something like that over this any day. Like, I'm like, this is what, okay. These are more like, I guess, skincare products. Cooling eye stick, a moisturizer, a serum, a setting spray, and then a fan. None of these I really see her even using. I mean, I'm sure I've seen her use a fan, but as far as like a serum and a moisturizer, she really doesn't talk about those kinds of things in her videos. I guess it's just, I'm just kind of like, that was random. I don't want her to fail by any means. This is just, I guess, unexpected. Like, I have a fan. Hers looks smaller than this. Yeah, I feel like her fan is smaller than this, which I guess could be good or bad depending on your preferences, but like I feel like a lot of people have fans already, so it's just a random thing to have in your lounge. Especially because now I'm like, what is she gonna come out with after this? Like, is she just gonna do these skincare products, or is she gonna like actually release makeup, you know? Congrats. Physicians Formula released the Butter Buddies collection, where it has a highlighter, a powder, a blush, a banana powder, another bronzer, and mattifying powder. And why? I don't mean why as in the concepts. Like, I wish they had released this collection with actual range, with an actual variety of shades. Like, damn. And the annoying thing is that they keep doing this. They have a foundation, fucking trash range. Their butter bronzer, there was only one shade for a very long time. It's like, this could be a really cute launch. I'm sure a lot of people would find this adorable, but instead it's just a lot of people finding this in one shade. And if you have, you know, a rich skin tone, you're just gonna look at this and be like, I still have the butter bronzer and it's fine, you know, I use it because I have it, but like, I don't own any of their other products and I don't really plan on picking them up because I don't feel comfortable buying from a brand that only caters to somebody that looks like me. And it's really not radical to say like, fucking fix your shade range. It's common sense, honestly. So Blend Bunny Cosmetics released this eyeshadow palette called Surge eyeshadow palette. It has 30 shades. It seems like each row is its own story, with like pastels, jewel tones, super dark grungy mattes, shimmers, and then like neon-y pops of color. I can understand that and appreciate that, but I don't really care for it. It's too big for one thing, and I'm seeing a lot of people be like, I don't like big palettes, but I like this. I don't usually buy big palettes, but I'm gonna buy this. And I'm like, damn, like they really like did a number on you with this palette. But for me, I'm just like, okay, like I just don't really find this color story to be one that I would gravitate towards at all. Even though like I like how each row is its own color story, but also they have like the same hues like going down, so it's like green, blue, purple, and you know they have like different finishes of those. Like I think that's nice, and I think that maybe you could like this if you're like beginning with color and like building your collection and stuff, but I'm just not drawn to this. It's the here. Odyns came out with the legendary Diversa collection, which is 3 eyeshadow palettes, and each of them are collaborations with 3 different people. So Tina from The Fancy Face, Annette's Makeup Corner, and Judy, somebody named Judy. To be honest, I hadn't heard of her before this, but I bought 2 of these palettes. I bought Tina's, which is the Hummingbird palette, and I bought Judy's, which is the Red Dragon palette. The Giant Wolves palette, I'm just not really drawn to these kinds of tones, these kinds of super cool tone purpley shades. It's just not for me, but I really like the other 2 color stories, and I love Tina. She's hilarious, and I'm really proud of her for coming out with this collaboration. I think it's well deserved. I love that her palette is very tropical since she's from Jamaica. I think it just makes sense and it's very fitting for her. For the Red Dragon palette, like, it's a dream. This is a fucking dream for me, okay? Like, it has reds and pinks and neutrals and mustards and that yellow. Like, I feel like you don't often find all those colors in one palette, you know, especially like pinks and mustards. Like, I love this so much and I'm excited to get it. And I really like the packaging on these palettes because all of their palettes have really beautiful packaging with all their makeup, and it's all like inspired by Norse mythology, and I like how they made all 3 of these people look like goddesses, honestly. And I had never tried their eyeshadows before. Like, I have their blushes and their highlighter palette. Yeah, I think that's all I have from them. And so I've never tried their eyeshadows, so I'm excited because I've heard that they're really nice. I just hadn't seen a palette that they did where I was like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, I feel like there was always something missing from their palettes, but this, I was just like, oh, I'll take two. Clarisonic released an eyeshadow palette called the Butterfly palette. It's all mattes, and it's basically like, it's like pastels with like a couple of warm colors in there. This is very spring. Honestly, like, I wonder if things got pushed back and they meant to release this in the spring, because this would have made more sense if this was like in March. But I think this is cute. I don't know if I would get use out of it personally. And I feel like Clarisonic usually does like super light colors, like super like pastel-y colors as well. This palette kind of reminds me of Fun Size 2, with it being all mattes and with it being these really like springy colors. But I have to say I like this one more. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I like it. It's cute. So Becca is partnering with Smashbox. Their products, their best-selling products, have found a forever home with Smashbox. So you could still buy the Becca under eye corrector, which is phenomenal, and their highlighters now under Smashbox. And I feel like a lot of people saw this coming. I feel like a lot of people were like, I feel like Becca's not really gonna close down. And that they're just saying this to get us to buy their stuff. So yeah, I had kind of refrained from buying from Becca for that reason, because I'm like, I don't know if it's smart for me to buy something now that I know that they're gonna close. It's been a while since I reached for one of Becca's highlighters. I have a couple, but I don't remember like super loving them. But I guess it's cool that they're still gonna have these products out. Like, I don't know if I should be relieved or upset. Like, then why the hell? Like, sure, I feel like a lot of people don't care for Smashbox these days either, so I think it's interesting, and it will get people to buy things under Smashbox now. And I believe Becca and Smashbox are both owned by Estee Lauder, so two of their products are here to stay, I guess. Morphe is weird. Morphe is collaborating with Sour Patch Kids. A lot of these collaborations just don't make sense. Why is there a Sour Patch setting spray? A Sour Patch Kids setting spray. That it's sweets. Oh, okay. Okay, the first comment I saw just says no. Like, is it supposed to have a scent? I don't understand. Like, I'm telling you, I feel like Morphe is spiraling. And they're like, what do I do? Oh god. They have a lip gloss, a sponge set, and a lip scrub. They will never give up these sponge sets. Like, their sponges are hard, and they're just like, nope, we're gonna keep fucking railing them into the ground. Fine. Like, I guess the color story is what you would expect out of it. I feel like the last row, all those shades are kind of similar and probably look similar on the eyes. I really don't know what to say other than Morphe losing their minds. Like, what? So Revolution keeps harassing us as a community. They came out with another fucking massive collaboration. Like, last time I was here, it was Batman and like 17 million palettes, and now this is Corpse Bride. I think the packaging of these palettes is really nice. I would get these as decor. Especially because it's tin. It might stand up a little bit better, or at the very least it will look like an actual decor, like it's actually supposed to be here. I like that. There's an eyeshadow palette that's more blue. I think it's called Newlyweds. I'm assuming by the front cover of it, but I think that one's fine, but I don't know if, you know, the quality would be there, because I feel like a lot of these collaborations, I don't ever really hear anything about the performance of these eyeshadows. I just know that they keep fucking pumping them out. Like, oh my god. The palettes are like $12 as well, which isn't terrible. Even the bigger palette is $15, but I would greatly consider getting at least the Grave Misunderstanding palette for decor. But I also feel like I'm still letting Makeup Revolution win. I'm so tired. Especially because, okay, on the day that I'm filming this, and I will update you, I want to get this video up in the next couple days, but I will update if they show what the products are. But they're gonna collaborate with The Simpsons. And it's a Halloween release as well. Like, see this picture here, it's all of them, all of their skeletons. I don't know, when I think of The Simpsons, I don't think of Halloween. I just think of yellow and like Homer's voice. Yellow, Homer's voice, and Marge's hair. Like, I don't think of Halloween at all with The Simpsons, so I think that's a weird choice. I don't know if there's like a big Halloween episode that I don't know about. Like, I don't know, that show has way too many seasons. But hi, so this is me telling you that they did reveal what it is, and here, look at it. It's pretty much just kind of like the Corpse Bride thing, and then that makes it also like every other collab they do. They release too many things. They're all very underwhelming, and I just don't I don't like this. The only thing I would get is the brushes. Like, I think that the brush set is pretty cool, and apparently Simpsons and Halloween does make sense because they do Halloween episodes each year, or at least did them in the 90s. I did not know this, but now I do. So yes. Yeah, it's just like, it's too much. Like, and what the hell is this donut? They have a sponge in the shape of a man. Okay, blue lashes is cool. I see that they have like blue lashes here, I think, because I feel like all the big palettes they do, I don't like them at all, but the smaller ones here are actually okay. Like, they're fine. I'm not gonna get them, but they're better than like the bigger one. They're way more like toned down because there's not a lot of options. But, and I think that the imprint on the powders and the eyeshadows is cute, but yeah, it is. I think a yellowy neutral palette, like yellow toned neutrals, would hit, but of course it's not what they did. It's not what they did. Okay, so yeah. Anastasia revealed their holiday palettes. It's called the Primrose palette. Anastasia is also a brand that I feel like is spiraling. It's just a boring palette with a blush and a bronzer that don't really fit everyone. Like, I feel like the bronzer looks like it might be a little too warm, and the blush is obviously like really, really light. I don't like when there's face products in an eyeshadow palette because I feel like you're just limiting the people that can use this. Anastasia's color stories used to be so much better than this, you know? Like, they really didn't release any good palettes last year. Like, they didn't release much last year at all, but they had those big Norvina palettes. I believe last year they released a volume 3, and this year they released a volume 4. And to me, they just look the same, and I didn't like either of them. This is just like, okay. Like, think about the Jackie Aina palette, which is amazing. I have it and I love it. Even think about like the Alyssa Edwards palette, they're super colorful. Even Modern Renaissance is better than this. Like, I don't know, man. Ever since they got like exposed, I guess last year, for not paying Black creators their rates, they kind of just stopped trying, which is very interesting because I feel like all the releases since then have just been like, oh, you're still here? I thought you went home. Like, when are you gonna go home? Glamlight released a palette called it's a happy hour collection. They released this palette, which is called Dirty Martini, and they released another palette, which is more like purpley. But this one, I like it a lot. I like it a lot, okay? I want it. Like, I do. It's just a blue-green color story, but I love these tones of green and I love these tones of blue. And I've never tried Glamlight before. I've been wanting to. I've been wanting to get their cake palette because I don't have a rainbow palette. I did have one. I got the Lunar Skies and Blonde's Taki palette called Anime Dreams. That palette was trash. I'm using it as decor. It's in my living room because the front is really gorgeous, but the actual formula was not good. It was really thin, not pigmented. It was very subdued, and I don't want that. And Lunar Skies doesn't exist anymore as a makeup brand. They sell crystals now, and It's very strange, but regardless. I bring that up because that's why I wanted the Glamlight Cake palette, so that could be my rainbow palette. And because it looks super nice, the shimmers look really, really good. And here too, the shimmers look really good. And how much is this? It doesn't say how much it is, but I want it. Like, I want it. I actually think this is really, really good for fall. Like, these tones are very earthy. And I just, like, I'm smiling. Looking at it like, oh. Doja Cat has a collaboration with BH Cosmetics. This is fascinating. I'm not surprised because that she has a collaboration in general, because she wears makeup a lot. Her looks are actually really, really stunning. So I get it. I mean, you probably already know. I'm gonna say I think the palette's too big. I think it's a little jumbled. It's a bit everywhere. I feel like if it was just the first 2 rows, I would like it a little more. There's a lot of stuff here. That palette is called the Mega Palette. The stuff on the right is called Elements, which are eyeshadow quads, which I kind of like those. There's gold, silver, and bronze. Oh god, there's so much. There's blush palettes, 3 blush palettes, a loose highlighter in 3 shades, a mascara, an eyeliner, a brush set, a mirror, and a plumping lip gloss. Well, there's quite a few shades of the lip gloss. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 6 shades. I like that she is bringing out range. You know, I like that it's not just one highlighter, one blush. Like, she's kind of giving more variety with these products, which I like. She's even giving more variety with the eyeshadow palettes. She's like, all right, here's a big one. If you don't like big, here's a small one. It's cool. I'd be interested in trying the quad. I think the quads are all shimmers? I think people are saying that the brushes look like something else. So Sigma collaborated with Cinderella, and they're gonna have an eyeshadow palette, a cheek duo, a lip duo, and a brush set. I kind of don't mind this. Like, I think it's fine, and I am curious to try Sigma's eyeshadows. I just haven't really found a palette where I was like, ooh, yeah. If I had to pick one, I would pick the Corte Rosa, and I do think it's really pretty. I just was like, oh, I feel like I kind of already have these tones somewhere in my collection. This palette's cute. Like, it's fine. Again, I wish their face products catered to more skin tones, but the colors of these, of the highlighter and the blush, look beautiful. Like, damn, I don't even really fuck with Cinderella like that. If anything, I'm tired of all these Cinderella movies. Like, please let the girl rest. But I think that looks really, really nice. Disney collaborations in makeup have such a fucking strong hold. Like, I feel like it's never gonna die. Like, Disney gives the rights to fucking anybody. Speaking of Disney, Urban Decay is collaborating with Marvel. Eternals, it's a movie, I guess, and it's coming out sometime later this year. And the packaging, the way that the palette opens, reminds me of Alice Through the Looking Glass, the palette that they did for that. And I thought that I wanted that palette at the time, but I realized I just liked the way it opened. And with this, kind of gives a similar effect of, like, the color story inside is like, it's a naked palette. It's a naked palette inside this box. And then what else do they have? Highlighter, 2 shades, a few shades of eyeliner, which I've never tried their eyeliners, but I have heard many, many, many good things. And then they also have glitter gels. See, Urban Decay has done collabs before with, like, franchises, and they are, I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. I don't know about that palette being trash, but I know a lot of Game of Thrones fans were like, this is trash. And they were like, I don't like this, it doesn't go with the show. So I don't know if this is a similar case where this doesn't go with the movie. I mean, the movie's not even out yet. I don't even know what this movie is. It's a naked palette with blue. Right, Lady Gaga is coming out with an eyeshadow palette called Love for Sale, inspired by her album with Tony Bennett's Love for Sale. Here's the thing. Lady Gaga announced, I'm coming out with a brand, and a lot of people got really excited. They were like, hell yeah, like, we're gonna get so much color, we're gonna get so much innovation, and oh my god, the girls are never doing it like this, and we're gonna fucking like tits on the wall. And then, especially because when Selena Gomez announced she was coming out with Rare Beauty, like y'all would not let that girl rest. Like everybody was like, get the fuck out of here, like oh my god, like you don't even wear makeup and da da da. And her products are beautiful. Selena Gomez did a better job creating a makeup brand than fucking Lady Gaga. Okay, like I haven't even talked about the palette because I'm like, what the fuck is yours? Wait, so is her face on the packaging, like on the actual thing itself? No, it's just on the box. Okay, well, like, okay, there's like 3 colors in here where I'm like, okay, her brand is such a letdown. Like I feel bad, but it's just such a letdown. Like Halsey's brand was more exciting than hers, and not that Halsey is like a boring person or anything. You just expected more from fucking Meat Dress. Colourpop is doing round 2 of the Hocus Pocus collab. No, like this is even worse than the first one. And what this palette has in common with the first one is the top row is so useless. Like it's just all these transition shades. Like why do we need this? Like in a Hocus Pocus palette. And even when you get to like the actual meat of the palette, it's just like a brown and a red brown. And then it's just each matte has a matching shimmer with it. This is so boring. I didn't even really care for the first one. I just wish that it was a little more inspired, because not only was it predictable, it's just colors that we've seen. Asking them to reinvent the wheel is a lot to ask, but you know, it's just like, give us more. Give us more. Like, what the fuck? I'm sad. Even looking at the swatches, this doesn't look like a Hocus Pocus theme. It doesn't look like anything. There's a candle, and there's other stuff. There's super shocks, lip creams, spider face stamp, and then the candle and the mirror. I just don't, you know, I don't. In my last video, I talked about the Plain Jane palette from Adept and how I don't know if they're gonna bring it back in stock. It's not in stock right now, but they have this Emunet New palette. So I wanted to like showcase it here to show that this is coming out. It's more of a neutral palette, and I think it's pretty. I noticed that Adept really likes to have purples in their palette. Like the Ninhydrin palette was basically like mostly purples. So I guess this is just like neutrals with a pop of purple, I would say. Keep in mind, Adept's palettes are expensive. This one here is $56. It's less shades than like Plain Jane. There's also, yeah, there's a few mattes in here. I noticed that they've been adding more and more mattes with their palettes, so yes. I don't know if I'm gonna get this one personally. I think it's nice though. Dandelions Co., who's a brand that I want to try. I just haven't I guess like really gone on their website to look at their stuff, but they're releasing a highlighter for Halloween, and it's a pumpkin highlighter, and it's so cute. It has like different colors in it, so you could get like 3 different shades. It's like an ombre highlighter, but not really. It's just has this like really cute pumpkin design. They're also coming out with a Baleful Bog palette, which is, I don't know if this is supposed to be a Halloween palette per se, or if it's just like a fall release, but this is just like a super grungy and dark palette, and I think it's really interesting. It has like these really dark greens, some purples again. This is really creative and unique, and it still like says this is fall as well, so it's cool. Yes, I am on my last release. Chaotic Cosmetics, who I've also never tried before. They're coming out with a Halloween palette. It's called the Brainwashed palette, and I like this, like especially because there's a video here of them swatching the shimmers. That looks nice. That looks really nice. Okay, I love Halloween themed makeup. I think it's fun, and I think that the shade names of this palette is really cute. I really like the selection of colors here. I think it's very Halloween-y. They haven't said how much this is. They just said that it's launching October 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, I don't know how much this is going to be, but they've said that there's duochromes, like multiple duochromes in this palette, so I'm kind of expecting for it to be a lot. I'm really interested in this. Maybe I will get suckered in and buy it, who knows. But for now, I'm just looking at these beautiful shimmers. Alright, so that was all the new makeup releases I wanted to talk about for basically the month of September. Let me know if there's anything that stuck out to you, for better or for worse. What do you think about fucking Monopoly? Eyeshadows, oh my god. I feel like a common theme of this video is that brands are spiraling and we're just watching them have this mental breakdown. I'm really excited for October. I plan for all my videos in October, since I do once a week. Usually, I missed last week. I plan for all those videos to be Halloween based, like based around like a costume and things. I got some stuff and I'm really excited. So that is it for this video, and just, yeah, let me know what you think of the new releases in the comments. I thank you so much for watching. You've been a lovely audience, and I'll talk to you later.